Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Jason Peterson's food and culture presentation. Today I'm going to be talking about a typical Spanish dish from Spain, which is called Arroz con Pollo. That translates into rice with chicken along with other mixed vegetables. But real quickly, I wanted to mention the importance of food because it plays such a vital role in monitoring proper health, and it also helps prevent diseases as well. If you eat the right foods, it can help cure them. To put it very simple, you are what you eat, and if you're going to eat healthy, you're going to be healthy. And so it's very important to try to stay away from those processed foods, or which you see in supermarkets, or to definitely stay away from fast foods because those aren't any good for you. And especially living in Arcadia, which is really cool, is the farmers market, because there's all these healthy produce that aren't generated by companies like Monsanto that alternate the way food is grown today. So that's a very positive note of living in Arcadia. It's our cells, tissues, and all other organs work properly when we eat nutritious food. All body functions, such like whether it's your mental, physical, or chemical, cannot perform properly, and they need nutritious food. So that's why it's really important to eat healthy and do exercise. Now, with that said, you must be wondering, what is arroz con pollo and where does it come from? It's not just rice with chicken. It's although it's claimed to come from Latin America, this dish roots originated in Spain. We've got Latin America, it's really huge here, and there's Spain. So it came over with the conquistadores, but even before that, this dish comes back to the 8th century, when the Moors occupied Spain. The Moors didn't just influence the way that the Spanish imported or exported, but they also influenced the way they ate. And this also ties in with religion because the Moors were Muslim and the Spanish were Catholic, and so it was a clash of cultures right there. Now, although arroz con pollo is famous all over the world, it's the oldest restaurant in the world, which is called Botín, Casa Botín. But it since then changed its name to Sobrino de Botín, which translates to nephew of Botín. Jaime Botín opened the restaurant in 1722 with his wife, and one of the most famous dishes there is arroz con pollo. There's many ways to make it, and depending where you live geographically, whether it's like if you live on the coast, it's pretty much the same. You just mix it with fish and other calamari or shrimp and everything. That sometimes can be called paella. But if you're living more inland, especially in Latin America, growing up in Central America, I can personally tell you that arroz con pollo can be eaten as often as every day, even sometimes with every meal. And this dish originated kind of like a pilaf, which is kind of like a soup, but it's a staple food throughout Central and South America because it's easy to come by, and especially living like in third world nations, a lot of people struggle through poverty, and so arroz con pollo is inexpensive and is easily available foods that supply one or more of the 3 organic macronutrients, which are protein, fats, and carbohydrates for you. Moving on, like the way I like to cook arroz con pollo is pretty simple. I take my chicken and I like to marinate it for a good hour. I throw in some bell pepper, some cumin, and some oregano, and throw in some wine vinegar, and just let it sit there. Come back to it, cook it. I'm also stirring the rice, and then eventually, like, I mix them together, and it's just like this big kind of like stew. And then at the end of it, I like to throw in some saffron. Just gives it some more flavors to make, and then mix it with maybe some onions. You gotta be careful with throwing in the vegetables too soon because it's you don't want them to get too soggy. no good, no bueno. And so I always throw them in at the end, the green peas and the bell peppers. But this is I've been eating this since I was a little kid. That's my favorite food. And it just, I'd always help my mother at home, whether she, whether it was my grandmother or somebody. But it's the cool thing about it is you can make it any way you want. You can make it your own. You don't have to, just because it comes from Spain, you have to make it traditionally that way. It's because it's so all over the world, especially in Latin America, the way they make it. People have added stuff to it, like people have added, black beans, tomatoes. You gotta make it your own. You kind of make it your own. That's kind of what I like about it. So, finished product sort of looks like this. If you can see that. So that's about it. And hope you enjoyed the presentation. And thanks.